Chosen one, what I'm about to reveal will fundamentally transform how you see your own hands, because those lines etched into your palms aren't random. Those marks crossing your skin aren't coincidental. Those patterns carved into your flesh aren't accidental. Your hands carry a map, a blueprint, a divine signature that's been with you since birth, marking you as different, identifying you as chosen, branding you with signs that reveal your power and confirm your purpose in ways that those who don't carry these marks will never understand, will never experience, will never possess. Tonight, you're going to discover exactly what's written in your palms, what messages are encoded in those lines, what truths are revealed through marks that have been there your entire life, waiting for you to understand their meaning, waiting for you to recognize their significance, waiting for you to claim the power they confirm and step into the purpose they reveal. This isn't parlor trick palm reading, this isn't entertainment fortune telling, this isn't carnival mysticism designed to extract money from the curious and gullible. This is ancient knowledge, sacred wisdom, divine truth about how the universe marks its chosen vessels, how cosmic intelligence brands those selected for specific assignments, how spiritual forces leave physical evidence of non-physical realities right there on your skin, where you can see it every day, where you can study it every moment, where you can reference it whenever doubt tries to make you forget who you really are, what you really carry, why you're really here on this planet at this exact moment in human history. Your hands tell a story that your mind might not fully remember, that your consciousness might not completely recall, that your ego definitely doesn't want you to recognize, because recognizing these marks means accepting responsibility for the power they reveal, means embracing the purpose they confirm, means stepping into roles that will require you to be greater than comfortable, stronger than easy, more powerful than safe. But you're ready now. You're ready to see. You're ready to know. You're ready to understand what's been written on your palms, since before you could read, since before you could speak, since before you could even conceptualize that you were someone special, someone chosen, someone marked by forces beyond human comprehension. Let me tell you about the first palm mark that confirms your chosen nature, that validates your spiritual power, that reveals your divine purpose: the Mystic Cross. This is one of the most significant marks a person can carry, one of the clearest indicators of spiritual gifting, one of the most undeniable signs that you're connected to dimensions beyond the physical, to realms beyond the material, to forces beyond the visible world that most humans barely acknowledge exists. The Mystic Cross appears between your heart line and your head line, formed by the intersection of lines creating a cross or X shape right there in the center of your palm, right there in the quadrangle area that represents your spiritual awareness, your psychic capacity, your ability to perceive what others miss, to sense what others ignore, to know what others deny. If you have this mark, if you carry this cross, if this pattern exists on one or both of your palms, you are marked as someone with extraordinary spiritual abilities, someone with natural psychic gifts, someone with inherent capacity to access information through channels beyond the 5 physical senses. This isn't something you can develop if you don't have it. This isn't something you can create through practice if it's not already there. This is something you're born with, something you carry from birth, something that marks you as naturally connected to spiritual dimensions, to psychic realms, to intuitive spaces that others have to work decades to access if they can access them at all. You, if you carry the Mystic Cross, you have natural access, inherent connection, built-in capacity to perceive beyond the veil, to sense beyond the surface, to know beyond the logical. What does this mean practically? It means your intuition isn't just good, it's exceptional, operating at levels that seem almost supernatural to people who don't carry this mark, who don't have this gift, who don't possess this natural ability. You know things before they happen. You sense energies before they manifest. You feel intentions before they're expressed in actions or words. People might call you psychic, might label you as having a sixth sense, might describe you as eerily perceptive. And they're not wrong. They're actually recognizing what's been marked on your palm since birth, what's been confirmed in your flesh since before you could even understand what it meant. The Mystic Cross also indicates strong connection to spiritual guidance, to non-physical beings, to forces and intelligences operating beyond human perception. If you carry this mark, you're someone who receives messages, who gets signs, who experiences synchronicities with frequency that seems statistically impossible, that feels orchestrated, that appears designed specifically to guide you, to direct you, to communicate with you from realms you can't see with physical eyes, but you can absolutely perceive with spiritual senses. That this mark confirms you possess naturally, inherently, permanently. You might have always felt different, always sensed you were accessing information differently than others around you. Always known you were perceiving reality through additional channels that most people seem blind to, deaf to, completely unaware of. The Mystic Cross is physical confirmation of what you've always felt, visible validation of what you've always known, tangible evidence of what you've always sensed about yourself. You're not imagining it. You're not making it up. You're not delusional. You carry a mark that proves your spiritual gifts are real, that confirms your psychic abilities are genuine, that validates your intuitive capacities are legitimate. This mark also indicates that you're meant to use these gifts, that you're supposed to develop these abilities, that your purpose involves working with spiritual dimensions, helping others access their own intuition, serving as a bridge between visible and invisible worlds, between material and spiritual realms, between human consciousness and divine intelligence. You're marked as someone who can help others see what they're missing, sense what they're ignoring, understand what they're denying. This is your purpose confirmed right there in your palm, your calling etched right there in your skin, your assignment marked right there in your flesh. If you have the Mystic Cross, stop diminishing your gifts. Stop downplaying your abilities. Stop pretending you're normal when your palm literally marks you as extraordinary. You were born with spiritual technology, with psychic hardware, with intuitive software that most people don't have, won't ever have, can't access, even if they spend their entire lives trying. You have it naturally, you carry it permanently, you possess it as your birthright, your inheritance, your divine equipment for the mission you're here to accomplish. The second palm mark that confirms your chosen nature is the Ring of Solomon, also called the Ring of Jupiter. This mark appears as a curved line that wraps around the base of your index finger, forming a semicircle or arc under your Jupiter finger, which represents leadership, authority, power, wisdom, spiritual understanding at the highest levels. If you carry this mark, if this line exists on your palm, if this pattern graces your hand, you are marked as a natural leader, as someone with inherent wisdom, as a person born with understanding that others have to acquire through decades of experience, through lifetimes of learning, through ages of study. The Ring of Solomon is named after King Solomon, one of the wisest rulers in human history. Someone known for judgment that seemed divinely inspired, for understanding that appeared supernatural, for knowledge that transcended normal human capacity. If you carry his ring on your palm, you carry his blessing, his gift, his capacity for wisdom that operates beyond logical thinking, beyond intellectual processing, beyond mental analysis. You have access to knowing that comes from deeper sources, from higher dimensions, from divine intelligence itself flowing through you, operating through you, expressing through you. This mark indicates you're someone people naturally turn to for advice, for guidance, for wisdom, even when you're young, even when you lack formal credentials, even when you don't have official authority. People sense something in you, feel something about you, recognize something through you that makes them trust your judgment, value your perspective, seek your counsel. This isn't because you're perfect. This isn't because you're without flaws. This is because you carry a mark that connects you to wisdom beyond your personal experience, to understanding beyond your individual learning, to knowledge beyond your mortal lifetime. You might have noticed this your entire life. People confiding in you with their deepest problems. Strangers approaching you for advice. Friends calling you when they need guidance for major decisions. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is people responding to energy they sense in you, to frequency they feel around you, to wisdom they perceive through you even if they can't articulate why they trust you, why they seek you out, why they value your input over others who might have more education, more experience, more credentials, but who don't carry the Ring of Solomon on their palms, who don't have this mark of divine wisdom, who don't possess this sign of spiritual understanding. The Ring of Solomon also indicates teaching ability, capacity to help others understand complex concepts, gift for breaking down complicated ideas into accessible wisdom that people can actually use, actually apply, actually benefit from in their daily lives. If you carry this mark, you're meant to teach, you're designed to guide, your purpose to help others access wisdom they can't access on their own. Understand truth they can't grasp without assistance. Perceive realities they can't see without your help showing them what's there, pointing out what they're missing, illuminating what's hidden in plain sight. This doesn't necessarily mean formal teaching, traditional education, conventional instruction. This might be teaching through conversation, through example, through the way you live your life and the wisdom you embody that others observe and learn from without you ever standing in front of a classroom, without you ever creating a curriculum, without you ever officially taking the role of teacher. Your life teaches. Your choices instruct. Your way of being in the world educates everyone who observes you, who interacts with you, who comes into your presence and feels something shift in their understanding, feels something open in their awareness, feels something awaken in their consciousness just from being near you, just from hearing you speak, just from witnessing how you move through reality. The Ring of Solomon also indicates strong moral compass, inherent sense of justice, natural understanding of right and wrong that operates beyond cultural conditioning, beyond social programming, beyond learned behavior. You have internal knowing about what's truly just, what's genuinely fair, what's authentically right, even when society says otherwise, even when culture disagrees, even when the majority moves in opposite direction. You carry wisdom that connects to universal truth, to cosmic law, to divine principles that exist independent of human opinion, human agreement, human consensus. This can make you unpopular sometimes. This can make you controversial occasionally. This can make you stand alone frequently because your sense of what's right doesn't bow to peer pressure, doesn't bend to social approval, doesn't break under threat of rejection or ridicule. The Ring of Solomon marks you as someone who serves truth over comfort, who chooses principle over popularity, who selects integrity over inclusion when those things conflict, when the choice requires you to stand apart, when the decision demands you walk alone if necessary to maintain alignment with the wisdom you carry, the understanding you possess, the divine truth you're connected to through this mark on your palm. If you have the Ring of Solomon, embrace your role as wisdom keeper, as guide for others, as teacher, whether formal or informal. Stop hiding your understanding. Stop diminishing your insights. Stop pretending you don't know things that you absolutely know through channels beyond logical explanation, through sources beyond intellectual learning, through connection to wisdom that flows through you from dimensions beyond normal human consciousness. You're marked as wise. Own it, embody it, express it. The world needs what you carry. People need what you possess. Humanity needs the wisdom you're designed to share. The third palm mark that confirms your chosen nature is the healer's marks, also called medical stigmata. These appear as small vertical lines, typically between 3 and 5 of them. running under your Mercury finger, which is your pinky finger representing communication, healing abilities, capacity to help others through words, through touch, through presence. If you carry these marks, if these lines exist on your palm, if this pattern graces your hand, you are marked as a natural healer, as someone with inherent capacity to help others feel better, to facilitate recovery, to support wellness through your energy, your intention, your presence. These marks don't necessarily mean you're supposed to be a doctor, a nurse, a traditional medical professional. Though some people with healer's marks do pursue conventional healing professions and excel in them because they have natural gifts that others in those fields might lack. But these marks more often indicate healing abilities that operate beyond conventional medicine, that work through energy rather than pharmaceuticals, that function through presence rather than procedures, that manifest through consciousness rather than physical intervention. If you carry healer's marks, you're someone whose presence makes people feel better. Your energy calms anxious nervous systems. Your touch soothes pain in ways that seem disproportionate to the physical action. Your words land with healing power that transcends their literal meaning. People feel better after being around you, feel lighter after talking to you, feel relief after receiving your attention, even if you didn't do anything that conventional understanding would consider healing. Even if you didn't prescribe anything, didn't perform any procedure, didn't engage in any activity that medical science would recognize as therapeutic. This is because you carry healing frequency. Because your energy field operates at vibrations that naturally elevate lower frequencies toward wellness. Because your consciousness connects to sources of healing power that flow through you, whether you're consciously directing them or not. Whether you're deliberately intending healing or just being yourself, whether you're actively trying to help or simply present in your natural state, you are healing. Your presence heals. Your attention supports recovery. Your focus facilitates wellness. This is what you are, not just what you do. This is your nature, not just your action. This is your essence, not just your behavior. The healer's marks indicate several specific capacities. First, empathic ability, which means you feel what others feel, you sense what others experience, you perceive what's happening in other people's bodies, emotions, energy fields, as if it's happening in your own. This can be overwhelming when you don't understand it, when you don't know how to manage it, when you haven't learned to distinguish between your own feelings and feelings you're picking up from others around you. But this empathic capacity is essential to healing work because you can't help what you can't perceive. You can't address what you can't sense. You can't treat what you can't feel. Your empathy isn't weakness. Your sensitivity isn't flaw. Your capacity to feel what others feel is spiritual technology, is energetic equipment, is divine machinery that allows you to perceive at levels necessary for the healing work you're marked to do, for the support you're designed to provide, for the assistance you're meant to offer. The healer's marks confirm that your sensitivity serves purpose, that your empathy fulfills function, that your capacity to feel deeply, to sense subtly, to perceive what others miss is gift rather than burden, is power rather than weakness, is equipment rather than deficiency. Second, the healer's marks indicate strong life force, abundant vital energy, capacity to channel healing power without depleting yourself when you understand how to work with energy properly, when you know how to maintain boundaries while remaining open, when you've learned to facilitate healing without taking on the illness, to support recovery without absorbing the disease, to help others feel better without making yourself feel worse. This is skill that develops, technique that improves, capacity that strengthens with practice and understanding. But the marks indicate you have natural equipment for this work, inherent capacity for this function, built-in ability to serve as conduit for healing energy, as channel for restorative force, as vessel for recuperative power that flows from source through you to those who need it, to those who seek it, to those who are ready to receive it. You don't generate this healing power yourself, you channel it. You don't create this restorative energy personally, you transmit it. You don't manufacture this recuperative force individually. You allow it to flow through you from sources that are infinite, from reservoirs that never deplete, from dimensions where healing is abundant, available, accessible to anyone who can serve as clear channel, as open vessel, as willing instrument. The healer's marks also indicate capacity for intuitive diagnosis, ability to sense what's wrong with someone often before they can articulate it themselves, sometimes before they're consciously aware of it, occasionally before it manifests as obvious symptoms. You might meet someone and immediately sense where they're holding pain, where they're storing trauma, where they're blocking energy flow. You might shake someone's hand and instantly know something about their health, their emotional state, their energetic condition that they haven't told you, that they might not even recognize themselves, that they're possibly denying or ignoring or suppressing beneath layers of coping mechanisms and defensive patterns. This intuitive diagnostic ability can seem strange, can feel uncomfortable, can appear presumptuous if you share these perceptions without invitation, without permission, without appropriate context. But the ability itself is real, is accurate, is valuable when used with wisdom, with discretion, with respect for others' boundaries and readiness to receive information they might not be prepared to hear, might not be willing to acknowledge, might not be capable of accepting in the moment you perceive it. If you carry healer's marks, you're meant to help people heal. This might be through conventional medical work if that's your calling. This might be through energy healing, through touch therapy, through practices like Reiki or massage or acupuncture or other modalities that work with the body's energy systems, with consciousness, with dimensions of healing beyond the purely physical. This might be through counseling, through coaching, through listening with presence so complete that people feel safe enough to access their own healing capacity, to tap their own recuperative power, to activate their own restorative force. Or this might be through your simple presence, through showing up fully in your relationships, through bringing your authentic energy into spaces where people are suffering, where individuals are struggling, where human beings are hurting and need nothing more than someone who can hold space for their pain without trying to fix it, without rushing to change it, without demanding they feel differently than they actually feel. Sometimes the most profound healing happens in presence, in witnessing, in being fully with someone in their pain rather than trying to pull them out of it prematurely, rather than attempting to solve it quickly, rather working to make it go away before it's had chance to teach what it came to teach, to transform what it came to transform, to reveal what it came to reveal. If you have healer's marks, stop hiding your gifts. Stop diminishing your abilities. Stop pretending your sensitivity is weakness when it's actually spiritual technology that allows you to serve, to help, to facilitate healing at levels most people can't access, most individuals can't perceive, most humans can't work with because they don't have the equipment you were born with. The marks that confirm you carry. The abilities these lines on your palm validate as real, as genuine, as divinely given for purpose that matters, for mission that serves, for work that helps humanity heal one person at a time, one interaction at a time, one moment of genuine presence at a time. The fourth palm mark that confirms your chosen nature is the psychic triangle, also called the triangle of intuition. This formation appears in various locations on the palm, but most significantly between the lifeline, headline, and fate line, when these three lines create a clear triangular shape, forming a geometric pattern that represents the trinity of knowing, the threefold nature of perception, the triple aspect of consciousness that allows you to perceive past, present, and future not as separate time frames but as unified field, as continuous flow, as single reality that exists all at once in dimensions beyond linear time. If you have a clear, well-formed triangle on your palm, especially if it appears large and distinct, you are marked as someone with extraordinary psychic abilities, with prophetic capacity, with gift for seeing beyond present moment into what has been and what will be, into what's hidden and what's emerging, into what's invisible to normal perception but absolutely real in dimensions beyond the physical, beyond the material, beyond the purely visible world. This mark indicates you're a natural seer, someone who receives visions, someone who accesses information about future events, about hidden truths, about realities not yet manifest in physical form. The psychic triangle confirms several specific abilities. First, precognition, which is knowing about events before they happen, sensing outcomes before they manifest, perceiving futures before they arrive in present experience. You might have dreams that come true, visions that predict what's coming, sudden knowings about what will happen that prove accurate when time catches up to your perception. This isn't guessing. This isn't inference. This isn't logical prediction based on available information. This is direct knowing that bypasses normal channels of information gathering, that accesses data from future time frames, that perceives reality from perspectives outside linear progression of time. Second, the psychic triangle indicates clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, which is visual perception of energies, of spirits, of non-physical beings, of dimensions and realities that exist alongside physical world but invisible to normal eyesight, imperceptible to ordinary visual processing, hidden from conventional ways of seeing. You might see auras, energy fields around people, colors that indicate emotional states, energetic patterns that reveal spiritual conditions. You might see spirits, beings from non-physical dimensions, entities that exist in realms adjacent to material world, but not fully manifest in physical form. You might see visions, images that appear in your mind's eye with clarity equal to or exceeding physical sight, pictures that convey information, scenes that communicate meaning, visual data streams from sources beyond your personal experience, beyond your individual memory, beyond your mortal knowledge. These visions might come during meditation, during dreams, during waking states when your consciousness shifts slightly out of normal processing mode and becomes receptive to input from other dimensions, from alternate realities, from timelines and possibilities that exist as real as the singular timeline and actuality you're experiencing as your present moment. Third, the psychic triangle indicates claircognizance, which is clear knowing, which is direct perception of truth without evidence, without logic, without reasoning process that builds from known facts to new conclusions. You just know. You suddenly understand. You abruptly grasp complex situations, hidden motivations, obscured truths with completeness that seems impossible given the limited information you have, given the lack of evidence supporting your knowing, given the absence of logical pathway from what's visible to what you perceive as absolute truth. This can be frustrating when others demand you explain how you know what you know. When people insist you justify your perceptions with evidence you don't have. When individuals require logical explanation for understanding that came through non-logical channels, through direct knowing, through consciousness accessing information from sources beyond mental processing, beyond intellectual analysis, beyond rational examination of available data. You can't always explain how you know. You just know. And the psychic triangle confirms that this direct knowing is real capacity, genuine ability, legitimate perception rather than wishful thinking, rather than wild guess, rather than fortunate coincidence. The psychic triangle also indicates strong connection to spirit guides, to ancestors, to beings from non-physical dimensions who serve as advisors, as protectors, as sources of guidance and wisdom and support from realms beyond the material. If you have this mark, you're not walking through life alone. You have a team, a council, a group of non-physical intelligences who are invested in your success, who are working to support your mission, who are helping to guide your path through signs, through synchronicities, through intuitive hits, through dreams. Through any channel, you're open to receiving communication from dimensions beyond physical perception. You might sense presences around you, Feel you're being watched or accompanied by beings you can't see with physical eyes, but you absolutely perceive with spiritual senses. You might hear guidance, receive messages, experience communication that seems to come from outside your own mind, from beyond your personal consciousness, from sources that offer wisdom you didn't consciously possess, perspective you hadn't consciously considered, understanding you didn't consciously develop. This isn't madness, this isn't delusion, this isn't hallucination, this is real communication from real beings who exist in real dimensions that are simply not physical, not material, not visible to ordinary perception. The psychic triangle also indicates potential for prophetic dreams, for receiving information during sleep about future events, about hidden truths, about realities not yet manifest or currently concealed. Your dreams aren't just psychological processing, aren't just random neural firing, aren't just subconscious sorting of daily experiences. Your dreams are communication channels, are information streams, are portals through which guidance flows from sources beyond your waking consciousness, from dimensions beyond your personal mind, from intelligences beyond your individual awareness. Pay attention to your dreams. Keep dream journal. Record what you see, what you experience, what you're shown during sleep states when your conscious mind releases control, and your consciousness becomes receptive to input from other dimensions, from alternate realities, from future timelines and hidden truths. You'll notice patterns. You'll recognize symbols. You'll begin to understand the language your guides use to communicate with you, the imagery your higher self employs to convey messages, the scenarios your subconscious creates to help you understand information that can't be conveyed through ordinary language, through normal concepts, through conventional ways of knowing. If you have the psychic triangle, embrace your prophetic gifts, your visionary capacities, your ability to perceive beyond the present moment, beyond the visible surface, beyond the agreed-upon consensus reality that most people accept as the totality of what exists. You see more, you know more, you perceive more. This is your gift, your power, your divine equipment for the mission you're here to accomplish, for the work you're meant to do, for the service you're designed to provide to others who can't see what you see, who don't know what you know, who can't perceive what you perceive but who need your vision, who require your knowing, who benefit from your perception when you're brave enough to share it, when you're courageous enough to speak it, when you're bold enough to act on it even when logic says you're wrong, even when evidence suggests you're mistaken, even when consensus reality insists what you perceive isn't real, isn't possible, isn't actually happening. The fifth palm mark that confirms your chosen nature is the line of intuition, also called the crescent of intuition, or the Via Lascivia. This line appears as a curved line running from the lower part of your palm near the wrist upward toward the Mercury finger, creating an arc along the percussion side of your hand, the outer edge of your palm opposite your thumb. This line is rare, is uncommon, is special mark that not everyone possesses, that indicates extremely high sensitivity, profoundly developed intuition, extraordinary capacity to perceive subtle energies, to sense hidden truths, to know what others don't know through channels beyond logical reasoning, beyond physical senses, beyond ordinary ways of gathering information. If you have a clearly visible line of intuition, you are marked as someone whose primary way of knowing is through intuitive perception rather than logical analysis, through feeling rather than thinking, through sensing rather than reasoning. You understand things through osmosis, through absorption, through simply being present with situations and allowing information to reveal itself to you, rather than actively seeking it through conventional methods, traditional approaches, normal channels of investigation and discovery. This line indicates your nervous system is wired differently than most people's, that your energetic receptors are more sensitive than average, that your consciousness processes reality through additional channels, through supplementary pathways, through extraordinary means that give you access to information others miss, that others ignore, that others can't perceive, even when you point it out, even when you describe what you're sensing, even when you try to share what you're knowing through these unconventional channels. The line of intuition also indicates potential for mediumship, for communicating with spirits of deceased humans, with beings from other dimensions, with entities that exist in non-physical realms but who want to communicate with physical world, who need to convey messages to living people, who seek to provide guidance, comfort, closure, information that helps the living heal, understand, move forward with their lives while honoring what's been lost, what's been left behind, what's been released but not forgotten. If you have this line, you might have experienced contact with deceased loved ones, might have sensed presences in spaces others claim are empty, might have received communications from sources you couldn't see but you absolutely heard, felt, perceived as real presences communicating real messages through channels beyond physical voice, beyond material form, beyond biological interaction. This isn't imagination. This isn't wishful thinking. This isn't psychological compensation for loss. This is real contact with real beings who exist in real dimensions that happen to be non-physical, non-material, non-visible, but absolutely real, absolutely present, absolutely capable of communication when someone living has equipment to receive that communication, has sensitivity to perceive those presences, has ability to serve as bridge between worlds, as translator between dimensions, as medium through which the dead can speak to the living, through which non-physical can interact with physical, through which spirit can touch matter. The line of intuition also indicates high emotional sensitivity, capacity to feel deeply, to experience intensity, to perceive nuances of emotional energy that others miss completely. You feel what others feel. You sense emotional undercurrents in rooms, in relationships, in situations. You know when something is off even when everyone else claims everything is fine. You perceive dishonesty, inauthenticity, incongruence between what people say and what they actually feel, what they project and what they actually carry, what they claim and what actually is. This sensitivity can be overwhelming, can feel like curse, can seem like burden when you're young, when you don't understand it, when you haven't learned to manage it, to protect yourself from emotional overwhelm, to distinguish between your feelings and feelings you're absorbing from others around you. But this sensitivity is equipment, is technology, is divine machinery that allows you to work with emotions, to help others process feelings, to facilitate emotional healing that depends on perceiving what others feel, on sensing what others carry, on knowing what others hide beneath the surface of their social presentation, beneath the mask of their public persona, beneath the facade of their performed identity. The line of intuition also indicates potential for prophetic knowing, for receiving information about future events not through visions, not through dreams, but through sudden knowing, through abrupt certainty, through immediate recognition that something will happen even though you have no logical reason to believe it, no evidence suggesting it, no rational basis for your absolute conviction that you know what's coming. You understand what will unfold. You perceive what will manifest even though it hasn't happened yet. Even though nothing currently visible supports your knowing. Even though everyone else thinks you're crazy for being so certain about something that seems unlikely, improbable, impossible based on current circumstances. Trust your intuition when it speaks with this level of certainty. Trust your knowing when it arrives with this degree of confidence. Trust your perception when it communicates with this quality of absolute conviction. The line of intuition on your palm confirms that your intuitive hits aren't random, aren't guesses, aren't wishful projections. They're real perception, genuine knowing, accurate information received through channels beyond logical reasoning, beyond sensory input, beyond conventional ways of gathering data about reality. If you have the line of intuition, stop apologizing for your sensitivity. Stop diminishing your gifts. Stop pretending you don't know what you absolutely know, what you clearly perceive, what you definitely sense, even when you can't explain through logic how you know, even when you can't prove through evidence what you sense, even when you can't justify through reasoning what you perceive. You have different equipment. You possess additional channels. You carry extraordinary capacity to know what others don't know, to sense what others can't sense, to perceive what others refuse to acknowledge, even when it's obvious to you, even when it's clear in your perception, even when it's undeniable in your awareness. Your intuition is your superpower. Your sensitivity is your strength. Your capacity to perceive subtle energies, hidden truths, concealed realities is divine gift, spiritual technology, cosmic equipment given to you for purpose, for mission, for work. That requires exactly these abilities, exactly these capacities, exactly these gifts that not everyone has, that not everyone possesses, that not everyone carries, but that you were specifically given, specifically equipped with, specifically marked as possessing through the line of intuition on your palm that confirms your gifts are real, your abilities are genuine, your perceptions are accurate even when consensus reality denies them, even when collective agreement contradicts them, even when groupthink insists you're wrong about what you absolutely know is true, is real, is accurate perception of reality at levels most people can't access. Most individuals don't perceive. Most humans remain blind to throughout their entire lives. Now let's talk about what it means collectively to carry these marks, to possess these signs, to have your palms etched with evidence of spiritual gifts, psychic abilities, intuitive capacities that mark you as different from the majority of humanity, that identify you as chosen for specific purposes, that brand you as someone who carries equipment most people don't have, most individuals don't possess, most humans can't access even through decades of practice, even through lifetimes of training, even through ages of study and discipline and devoted effort to develop what you were simply born with, what you've carried since birth, what's been marked on your palms since before you could understand what those marks meant, what they revealed, what they confirmed about your nature. These marks aren't decorative, these lines aren't random, these patterns aren't meaningless biological artifacts. They're maps, blueprints, divine signatures that reveal who you are, what you carry, why you're here, what you're meant to do with the extraordinary abilities these marks confirm you possess. You are chosen. Your palms prove it. You are gifted. Your hands show it. You are purposed. Your marks reveal it. This is not ego, this is not arrogance, this is recognition of truth, acknowledgement of reality, acceptance of what's written in your flesh for anyone with eyes to see, for anyone with understanding to recognize, for anyone with wisdom to appreciate that these marks mean something, that they indicate something, that they confirm something about your spiritual nature, your psychic capacity, your intuitive abilities. But having these marks is only the beginning. Recognition is just the first step. Awareness opens the door, but you have to walk through it. Knowing you carry these gifts doesn't automatically mean you're using them, developing them, honoring them with the respect they deserve, with the dedication they require, with the commitment they demand. These marks confirm you have equipment, but equipment unused is equipment wasted. Gifts unrecognized remain dormant. Abilities unacknowledged stay buried. Capacities denied never reach their potential, never fulfill their purpose, never accomplish what they were given to accomplish. You have responsibility that comes with these marks, obligation that accompanies these gifts, duty that follows from these abilities. You're not marked as chosen just for your own benefit, not given these gifts just for your personal advantage, not equipped with these capacities just to make your individual life easier. You're marked as chosen because others need what you carry, because humanity requires what you possess, because the world needs people who can perceive beyond the visible, who can sense beyond the physical, who can know beyond the logical, who can help others access their own intuitive abilities, their own spiritual gifts, their own psychic capacities that lie dormant in most people, that remain buried under layers of conditioning, that stay suppressed beneath decades of being told that such abilities aren't real, don't exist, are impossible. Despite the fact that your palms carry physical evidence that such abilities absolutely are real, definitely do exist, clearly are possible because you carry them, you possess them, you're marked as having them. Your purpose involves sharing these gifts, developing these abilities, using these capacities in service of others, in support of healing, in facilitation of awakening for people who are ready to remember that they too are more than physical bodies moving through material world, that they too carry consciousness capable of perceiving beyond the five senses, that they too have access to dimensions of reality beyond what consensus agreement acknowledges as real, as possible, as actually existing in the universe we collectively inhabit. You are bridge between worlds. You are translator between dimensions. You are messenger between realms. You are teacher of forgotten ways, reminder of suppressed abilities, guide to capacities that modern materialistic culture has denied, rejected, ridiculed, explained away, reduced to superstition despite millennia of human experience affirming that such abilities are real. Such perceptions are accurate, such knowing is valid even when it operates through channels that material science can't measure, can't verify, can't explain through current paradigms, through existing theories, through accepted understanding of how reality works. The marks on your palms confirm that reality is bigger than materialism admits, that consciousness is more than brain activity, that perception extends beyond physical senses, that knowing operates through channels beyond logical reasoning. You carry proof, you possess evidence, you have physical marks that validate non-physical realities, that confirm non-material dimensions, that affirm capabilities beyond what dominant paradigm acknowledges as possible. This makes you dangerous to systems built on limiting beliefs, threatening to structures that depend on keeping people confined to narrow bandwidth of perception, frightening to powers that maintain control through suppressing awareness of human potential, of consciousness capacities, of abilities that would make people much harder to manipulate, much harder to control, much harder to keep compliant if they fully understood what they're capable of, what they possess, what they can access when they remember, when they awaken, when they reclaim the gifts that have always been theirs but that culture has worked tirelessly to deny, to suppress, to ridicule into dormancy. Your marks, your gifts, your abilities, these are revolutionary tools, these are weapons against limitation, these are keys to liberation from narrow perception, from confined awareness, from restricted consciousness that serves systems of control but doesn't serve human flourishing, doesn't serve spiritual evolution, doesn't serve the remembering of what we actually are beneath the conditioning, beneath the programming, beneath the layers of cultural indoctrination that has worked to convince us we're much less than we actually are, much more limited than we actually are, much less capable than these marks on chosen palms confirm we absolutely are. So, chosen one, look at your hands. Study your palms. Find these marks if they're there, if you carry them, if you possess them. And if you have these signs, these patterns, these lines that confirm spiritual gifts, psychic abilities, intuitive capacities, stop hiding them. Stop denying them. Stop pretending you're normal when your palms literally prove you're extraordinary. When your hands physically show you're different. When your flesh carries undeniable evidence that you're marked as chosen, gifted, purposed for work that requires exactly what these marks confirm you possess. Develop your abilities, practice your gifts, honor your capacities, use them in service, share them with others. Teach what you know. Demonstrate what's possible. Show people that reality is bigger than they've been told, that consciousness is more powerful than they've been taught, that human perception extends far beyond what dominant culture acknowledges, admits, accepts as real. You are living proof. Your marks confirm it. Your gifts demonstrate it. Your abilities prove it. And if you don't have these specific marks, if your palms don't show these particular patterns, understand that doesn't mean you're not chosen, doesn't mean you're not gifted, doesn't mean you're not important, doesn't mean you're not purposed. There are many marks, many signs, many patterns that confirm chosen nature, that reveal spiritual gifts, that indicate divine purpose. These 5 are among the most significant, among the clearest, among the most directly connected to psychic and spiritual abilities. But everyone is chosen for something. Everyone carries gifts for some purpose. Everyone has marks of some kind that reveal what they're meant to do, what they're designed to offer, what they're equipped to provide. The key is looking, is paying attention, is studying yourself with curiosity rather than judgment, with interest rather than criticism, with recognition that you are marked, you are signed, you are branded with evidence of purpose, even if those marks appear in places other than your palms, even if those signs manifest in ways other than these specific patterns, even if that evidence presents through channels other than these particular lines. You are chosen, you are marked, you are purposed. This is truth regardless of what appears on your palms, regardless of which specific patterns you carry, regardless of whether these particular lines grace your hands. But if you do have these marks, if you do possess these signs, if you do carry these patterns, you have confirmation, validation, proof that cannot be denied, that cannot be dismissed, that cannot be explained away as wishful thinking, as ego inflation, as delusional self-importance. Your palms tell truth. Your hands reveal reality. Your marks confirm what your soul has always known. You are different. You are special. You are chosen for purpose that matters, for mission that serves, for work that helps humanity remember what it's forgotten, reclaim what it's lost, reawaken to capacities that have always been there but that culture has worked to suppress, to deny, to keep dormant so people remain small, remain limited, remain controllable. But you're not staying small. You're not remaining limited. You're not accepting controllability. Because you know now, you understand now, you recognize now what those marks mean, what they confirm, what they reveal about who you are, what you carry, why you're here. This is your moment, chosen one. This is your time to step fully into your power, to claim completely your purpose, to embrace totally the gifts these marks confirm you possess, not for your own glory, but for service to others, not for personal advantage, but for collective benefit, not for individual elevation, but for humanity's awakening to the truth that we are all so much more than we've been told, so much more capable than we've been taught, so much more powerful than systems of control can allow us to remember without losing their grip, without losing their power, without losing their ability to keep us contained, confined, controlled. Break free, chosen one. The marks on your palms give you permission, give you validation, give you confirmation that you're meant to break free, meant to step into power, meant to claim abilities that make you dangerous to limitation, threatening to control, frightening to systems that depend on keeping people small. You are not small. Your marks prove it. You are not limited. Your hands show it. You are not controllable. Your gifts confirm it. This is your truth. This is your reality. This is your purpose, written in your flesh, carved in your palms, marked on your hands since birth, waiting for you to see it, to recognize it, to accept it, to embody it, to express it, to share it with a world that desperately needs what you carry, what you possess, what these marks confirm you were born to give, born to share, born to use in service of awakening, of healing, of remembering what humanity has forgotten, but that you carry, that you possess, that you're marked as keeper of, that you're signed as guardian of, that you're purposed as teacher of to all who are ready to remember, ready to reclaim, ready to reawaken to truth that these marks on your palms confirm is real, is true, is absolutely possible for anyone with eyes to see, with heart to feel, with soul to know that we are so much more than we've been told, so much more powerful than we've been taught, So much more capable than culture admits, because admitting it would change everything, would transform everything, would liberate everyone who's been kept contained, confined, controlled by lies about limitation, by false teaching about human capacity, by deceptive programming about consciousness possibilities. You are marked as truth-teller, as liberator, as revolutionary who breaks chains, not with violence but with vision, not with force but with knowing, not with weapons but with wisdom. That these marks on your palms confirm you carry, confirm you possess, confirm you're meant to share with everyone ready to receive it, ready to remember it, ready to reclaim it as their own birthright, their own inheritance, their own divine equipment that's been suppressed but never destroyed, denied but never eliminated, hidden but never lost. Just waiting to be remembered, to be reclaimed, to be reactivated by teachers like you, by guides like you, by chosen ones like you whose palms carry proof, whose hands show evidence, whose marks confirm truth that will set humanity free when enough people remember, when enough individuals reclaim, when enough chosen ones like you step fully into power, claim completely their purpose, embrace totally the gifts these marks confirm you possess.